Oh, I did. Oh, I did. I'm going to tell you about the movie Odyssey.
You
So,
watched
folks,
Odyssey?
I did, bro. I did. No, unfortunately, it's not in an IMAX environment,
Uh-huh.
but it was in a reclining seat environment. So,
which is much better than an IMAX environment, I'm assuming.
I'm, and if I don't see Tom Holland's eyebrows, कि IMAX नहीं तो कट जाता है. This okay. Absolutely fine.
All right, we are live, Arun, again.
Oh yeah, we are back, baby.
Hey, we to do one episode. This is now two episodes, so we have overachieved our target by 100%.
So, do we call ourselves podcast veterans, or it's a bit too early for that?
I think it's a bit too early, but we have a name for the podcast. So the pilot episode was not called anything. We have a name for the episode. We have a name for the podcast. Do you
Mm.
want to talk about the name and why the name and how it fits in?
Yeah, so we thought, overthought, got ourselves into a complete whirlpool of thoughts to find out what would be the name. And then me and Sid got going ki what was the whole premise of this conversation was like our lives in the middle of the lives and us being average blokes. And Sid came up being the creative genius he is. Let's just call it midlives, which I think perfectly resonates with who we are, what we're going to talk about, and what you're going to get out of this podcast. Like, absolutely simple 30 minutes of conversations with us. So, hope you like it. And if you don't, you can't really think about it. So, midlife.
Yeah, theme that we like immediately how average it is going to be. It is not going to be an influential broadcast. It's not supposed to inspire you. We don't know shit about nothing.
Yes.
They're just average blokes, and this is going to
Yeah.
be 100% average. So if you're expecting anything more than this is your fault.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why you're not going to pay for any of this because it's also an average podcast, you know. It's always got so remember folks, 30 minutes, adulterated fun, chill, no payment, no money required. Absolutely. Spirit time it too, guys. That's about it. But yeah. So we have a name. But let me ask you something. If like this becomes really big in a dystopian future, you know, and if a big brand comes to us saying, you know, Arun said, ye nahi chalega, like this is very mid. I mean, that's the name. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
you we would be tempted in 2069 if this becomes big
Mm-hmm.
to change name or the brand name. Or you think we'll hold steadfast?
I'm telling you, if you do 5 episodes, I'll
Mm.
consider myself famous.
Oh yeah. Oh
Hmm.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I r- I would have loved this to happen in the days of, you know, do you remember this social media platform Orkut back when like
Yeah.
we young
Yes.
handsome we if this would have been released at that time, I would have had like 2,500 friends to set.
Oh yeah,
Unlike
man.
now, unlike now, and I don't know if you know, my Facebook is completely blocked for some reason. I know what's the reason, but I just can't get around it. I know someone at Meta. I reached out to them. He's also not able to get somebody to fix it. So what happened? My old iPhone, I sent it to Apple here to fix the system, the
Mm-hmm.
CPU mother, we call it.
Mm.
So then they gave it back to me. And now Facebook doesn't recognize it being the same phone. And it says, you know what, go and do the double authentication on that phone. I was like, dude, ye wahi phone hai. Andar ke purze badle hain. So now, unfortunately, I'm locked out of my Facebook. So all I'm left with is some Instagram friends and then you. So I'm hoping you still have your wide net of flames and, you know, you still hold some sway. But nonetheless, we
No,
will be
so
famed.
why you're forced out, I forced
Mm.
myself out. So I have been technically without social media for 2 years now. Sure, like I have to go to like my wife's posts and stuff like that. but
Yes.
those are marriage duties.
Yes.
But I log into a browser and I do my duties and then I get out.
That's about it.
Hmm.
It's such a nice husband duty role you have been performing. I appreciate that. I think Asta.
Speaking of
Hmm?
performance, I weren't you going to watch a movie this weekend?
Oh, I did. Oh, I did. I'm going to tell you about the movie Odyssey.
You
So,
watched
folks,
Odyssey?
I did, bro. I did. No, unfortunately, it's not in an IMAX environment,
Uh-huh.
but it was in a reclining seat environment. So,
Which is much better than an IMAX environment, I'm assuming.
I'm, and if I don't see Tom Holland's eyebrows, कि IMAX नहीं तो कट जाता है. This okay. Absolutely funny because I had a really nice seat. My wife's next to me, and people who listen to us in the first episode would know that I was binging on Odyssey's storyline and
Uh-huh.
story arc, and I gave like a 30-minute capsule to Sarah, my wife. Guys who are married would know that if you get 30 minutes one way talking experience to your wife and you're educating, you know, इसके बाद जो भी हो, वो दिल has been absolutely stupendous, right? And me did it intently. मूवी के बाद follow up questions भी आए मुझे. Can you imagine? That has not happened
But
in
is it worth the hype?
it is. I think it is just for the sheer magnanimity of the movie and the direction and the
Mm-hmm.
set.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it has a huge ensemble of
Mm,
actors you would have
mm,
seen. But here's
mm,
the that the director Christopher Nolan played with
mm,
people who are watched the movie. They're
mm,
expecting a lot of actors spending a lot of time on the screen, but
mm,
it's largely Matt Damon out in the sea with some of his fellow seamen
mm,
just being swayed left, right, and center by the gods. बाकी सारे एक्टर्स कम एंड गो दे डू अ बिट ऑफ ऑरा फार्मिंग 2-3 मिनट में जो भी कर सकते हैं एंड देन दे
uh,
जस्ट लीव
uh,
बट देन there's one particular scene where I can't say the scene but I also have to explain the scene where one of these angry goddesses turns men into pigs. That
mm,
was most intense 3-minute cameo I've seen in a movie in a
mm,
very long time. I'll
mm.
It's a challenge to you, Sid, and the rest of the people who are listening to us today and will go and watch the movie is to point to that 3 minute and tell me who surprised you the most in that scene as an actor.
Got it.
Right? Yeah.
By the way, I let go of a very cheap joke. You said Matt Damon and his semen. I let it go. I that's
That was
you,
for
you owe me one.
I know. He was hoping that you wouldn't say it loud because that was for people listening him to have like a quiet moment of reflections like pakda isko bola isne but you know what Spotify already rates us as adult content. So, you know what? अब तो सारे टाके खुल गए हैं. Another one. I plugged in another one.
Yeah. By the way, it's not Spotify. We have to like self declare
Oh,
explicit
really?
content. So
अरे
it
आप
is me.
ML की है. कुछ भी नहीं.
Now we've earned it for today.
Yeah. Right? So,
Hmm.
तो मतलब जो होगा वो होगा. But ठीक है.
Nice. So I got to watch it as well. So I'll
I
plan
think.
for it.
But
Hmm.
talking of Odyssey and the movie, let
Hmm.
me throw this curveball to you. Pick any movie that you have liked or
Hmm.
any role you have liked and
Hmm.
explain me and those listening
Hmm.
which role you would like to play in which movie and why.
Hey, that's a tough one. And I'll remind me to tell you why it's a tough one at the end of this because I will forget. Having the goldfish memory. Uh, but I haven't seen a lot of movies in the past 7 years. Seven also coincides with my son's age, and that's the story later. But the last movie that like made a really lasting impact on me has to be Dune One, and it
Ooh,
was just around the time when I had finished the Frank Herbert book with the same
yeah.
name, and Timothy Chalamet with Paul Atreides did a fantastic job. What a beautiful rendition of the book that movie is. Very few movies that do full justice to the book. So I think that has to be it for me. And
Props
for
to
you?
the director, hey, Dennis Villeneuve. He has done
Mm.
phenomenal. And the soundtrack is the
Oh
soundtrack
man.
hand.
Yes.
Oof, that,
Yes.
that guy is a legend. Oh my,
Yes. I
oh my.
agree. There's this whole documentary on how he came up with that soundtrack and how that lady who
Really?
shouts. Yeah, you should watch it. It's really
Does the
good.
Spotify some show notes? If so, you should plug in this. Plug in some details on the documentary. People should be able to find that out.
Hmm.
But do you that there have been previous attempts at making Dune into a movie?
I think there's been one unsuccessful attempt.
Yeah, one unsuccessful. But
Hmm. But it was like in the
it's
1980s or something.
it was I think 81 or 82, but it's a great pick. I think
Yeah.
it would play that role well.
Which one is for you?
Oh, for me, oh shit, I didn't expect you to ask me back the same.
Hmm.
Uh, mm, okay, I think I would want to. Have you seen this movie Makboo? Because
Hmm.
all
Yeah.
old books are coming to my life now, and then
Hmm.
as Macbeth and again Makboo is the name comes to my mind.
Hmm.
Usme fun karo. See, for one,
Hmm. Hmm.
I would love to be romanticized by her for like two
Hmm.
and a half. So I wouldn't give opportunity.
Hmm. Hmm.
Think there is such an intense role, intense portrayal of a conflicted person,
Hmm.
conflict, loyalty, and love. Ah, I just love that movie. You know
Hmm.
what? Really go back and the next weekend that we get,
Hmm.
especially listening, should go back and find one of these old is gold kind of movie and
Hmm.
just spend 2, 3 hours with that. And send your suggestions our way as well.
That's a great
I
idea. By the way, I have that story pending on why I haven't watched movies in
yes.
7 years, and that's around the time when Art was born, Art, my son, and
Mm,
Asta and I made this huge magnanimous decision that we were going through Instagram reels and influencers telling us that you should not have screen time, and screen time does this and screen time does that, and sure it does. I've seen all the science, but listening to it as a theory is one thing, and living that life is quite another. Like I, we haven't seen movies, we don't have television that plays in the house, every day. We've kind of lived quite a isolated life that way over the last
yeah.
7 years.
I think that's the most conscious way of raising a son in this day and age. So we also tried to keep it in a similar vein, but having twin boys,
Mm,
yeah, they just bought something with their mother when they're outside. That's Eve notification. So yeah, they went to the nearby park, and I'm sure they have pestered their mother to buy them ice creams. Everybody in the household has been coughing the last week. But
mm,
yeah, point. I think we consciously wanted to do that, but raising two almost means for the first 3, 4 years you're just trying to keep them alive because they are
mm,
so.
yeah.
So for us, screen time was the only option to keep them in one place to let them eat something. But पिछले 1-2 साल में ये हुआ है कि the boys are so active और hyperactive. वो टीवी के सामने भी बैठना नहीं चाहते. So we're kind of okay.
Mm,
We're kind of happy with that. But let's see
yeah.
how. But that 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 raises an interesting questions.
Mm,
I mean, side. I think I wanna know a bit more about your experience as a dad. But before we get there, I wanna know: is it a shame for parents to think that their kid gets a bit of screen time compared to some other kids? Or is it like, jaisa jane, just make sure you try and make it work? Or is it laziness? Ki there is no attempt being made to stop the
Uh,
kid being, you
yeah,
know,
uh,
being
you know,
used
actually,
for yes.
yeah, actually, I used to feel so, so good about being able to do what we do for the initial couple of years. It's only recently when I realized that it's actually privilege.
Yeah,
I have been privileged with the kind of support system, either parents or in-laws or a full-time help, because we're in India, that we, no screen time doesn't mean nothing. No screen
yeah,
time means replacing it with, your time or somebody's physical time. And
correct.
I can't help but notice that it's privilege. And it's not for everybody. It shouldn't be for everybody. Everybody's struggles is different. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's child is different. Everybody is different. Everybody's needs are different. Their work days are different. Their, challenges in life are different. And if a little TV solves some of that and makes your life easy, who's to say otherwise? I think it's my privilege that I've been able to do this. And yeah, I don't think it's for everybody, and it shouldn't be.
Absolutely. And I don't think anybody should kind of bring that pressure into themselves or between those two couples, to people in that relationship to bring that pressure and say, okay, we have to match up to XYZ, right? And I'm sure you and Asta must have had various other challenges. She travels for work, you have a very important job. And I'm sure, when you lean on people to help you around, you miss out on, times where you would want to take your son to this thing or that thing. But, it's one parent rush to handling while the other is away. But in some ways, there are other parents who are around their kid a lot more, and some with their parents or grandparents around. So it's such a unique mix that there is no right or wrong answer. Yeah, I
Mm,
think, but in your situation, I do see it as a privilege, and I hope it continues. Said, and I hope
yeah.
he the favor when he's 18, 20, 25, and he comes home from university, and rather than throwing the bags and the luggage and straight away heading to his friend's place, he spends a nice evening with his mom and dad, and probably raise a few glasses. Hopefully, he has that intensity about him, and so do
Mm,
I. Yeah. So
yeah. But so while he doesn't get screen time, uh, I mean like mobile time. When I say screen time, I actually mean mobile time. But we do enjoy our like one full length movie once every other weekend, and he gets unlimited amount of music on his Alexa. And I've been sneaky enough that when he was younger, and I very soon realized that I can't do Coco Melon all day long, that I started introducing him to my music. And we recently went to a Linkin Park concert in the fan pit, and he was enjoying so much that the drum technician came and gave him the drummer's signed drum kit, the
oh,
drumstick.
that's incredible. He's gonna cherish that memory forever. I
What
am
a
sure.
memory! What a memory!
What?
But
Mm,
But this is a great segue into something that I've been very passionate uh, to talk about, and I have had nobody to talk to about this. Is how when women are expecting,
mm.
and it's fashionable to say we are expecting, we are not expecting, only the women are expecting. Um, Women have this figured out, this whole support system figured out. They have their parents and in-laws and friends who are pregnant at the same time, or you know uh, a cousin who had been pregnant around the same time, who have similar kids, and they have this whole ecosystem of people who have figured out parenting and who can give them advice left, right, and center. If the child doesn't poop for 2 days, she's got someone to call, and she says, hey, it's all right. If the child doesn't poop for another 3 days, it's totally normal. But men, and I think this is Indian men, but you have to probably add some color here, have this
Yeah.
whole ego around not
Very
asking for support.
look at things, right? Very macho look at things. I get you. I hear you.
Yeah, but you know, uh, I had nobody to turn to. I had nobody to ask these questions, and I was vulnerable to say, "I don't know. Can somebody tell me?" And all I had were women to fall back on. Um, was what? How was your journey? Like, did you have somebody to ask when you needed advice on how to burp, or when there was a green poop, or something got stuck in their throats, or how did you manage, man?
In our case, with nobody prepares you for a kid anyways. I think it's part of our species. It's part of evolution that when an individual or individuals become a parent and they have to nurture an offspring, there's something inside that just comes out and knows what to do. Let's say part by part. But it's even more difficult when life throws twins at you, right? So
Mm.
in our
Oh
case,
man,
we literally did not sleep for the first year. We did not,
I
right?
can imagine that. Yeah.
We had my parents and then my wife's parents for the first few months just to help out. Then we got nanny who was helping out further. But it was intense, and I surely did not know a lot of things. I did not know a lot of things. I know I spoke to you a couple of times just to kind of get a breather. But what I've known, I got included in a WhatsApp group, and I think most of those people are still active. It's called Dudes to Dads. It's a corny name, and
Awesome.
I got added into it by some friend. And although I had been a silent spectator, but in that group, I saw a lot of people discussing common problems, whether it be an infant or a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that really helped me to know कि ये प्रॉब्लम सिर्फ मेरा नहीं है, बहुत लोग ये प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहे हैं. But yeah, eventually I think it's all inherent in you as a parent to be able to deal with stuff. But yeah, we had some really difficult uh, times with the two boys. But yeah,
Hmm.
actually we
No,
are.
I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine twins. By the way, we have we have a friend, a couple friend, and they had a boy. Pratik, if you happen to listen to this, I'm sorry for narrating your story without your consent, but they had a boy, and this whole thing about, I think, my child requires a sibling to grow up with, and blah blah blah. And so they were like, let's try for another child. What if it's a girl? They will, it'll be a brother and sister, and they'll kind of complement each other, they'll take care of each other. And then they got pregnant, and then they had twin boys again.
Oh my word, Pratik.
Now they have three boys, and they are just as hyperactive as you narrate your sons to be. So their motto in life is, when you go to their house, they're like, people are just chilling around, but you can always hear something falling, something smashing, something breaking, and somebody is jumping from somewhere to the other, something is squealing. And then we ask, hey, is everything okay? Because we have this one protected son, and we're like, hey, everything's okay, should you go and check if everything's okay? And they have this simple motto which says, agar jab tak khoon nahi nikla,
Ah,
tab tak
say.
we don't go.
Remember at the start of the podcast, I said like the first 2 years was like just keeping them alive.
Yeah.
Exactly. Pratik at this point is like, क्या consent है जो भी है, it's right. Like he wasn't even he has achieved this with because ये अगेन कर लिया हमने तो फिर क्या है? Like so shout
Yeah.
out to you, any new parent or who's gonna be a parent, if you want to be added into this group, shout out to Dudes to Dads, whoever is there. A lot of guys, a lot of information I can add you in, although nobody there knows me, so it's no harm done, but I can add you up.
You can say
There's no
Arun sent me, and they'll be like, Arun who?
Like,
By
abhi,
the way, that WhatsApp group sounds like a great idea, and it just come 7 years too late. I had nobody, and people before me have had absolutely nobody. I started that Instagram dad channel, if you remember, just to make sure that I can gather a community of dads who can kind of ask each other questions, the same intention. And then I got 350 followers on that account, and all 350 were women.
oh, वाह! मैं
Yeah,
ये पब नहीं करना था तुम्हें, but ठीक है, that's fine.
yeah.
It was something for you to be privately gloating about, but ठीक है.
No, it
Now,
was moms. It was moms who, who seek
oh,
out this advice. So I became a fellow mom for them.
there, and I would totally one day motivate you to either write a children's book or narrate a children's book or create a children's story purely and only format. You know, I think you should. People
Yeah.
listening, you all should motivate Sid to do that because he is an incredible dad to an incredible little boy who will is going to be a smart, handsome young fellow. And yeah, I think Sid people should get some insights on how we did that. So
Hey, hey, by the
let's
way, I'm a really mean dad.
yeah, but
I am at the top of my passive aggressive behavior.
the 7
Yeah.
year old you one of our twins like ये साले 4 साल के अभी तो
Hmm.
कुछ तो बोलना चांद के 6 मंथ पे
Hmm.
one of what he's telling Sarah कि Mama, are we gonna have a problem? Because something they were discussing. कहाँ से सुन के आते हैं सब? Are we gonna
Are
have
we
a
gonna
problem?
have a problem? What were they talking about? Are we gonna have a problem?
मैं सिर्फ पलट के देखा जब उसने ऐसा बोला उसके पहले I was like completely zoned into something related to Arsenal. Shout out to Arsenal, like he's Arsenal fan. But yeah, coming back, I literally I'm not kidding. और मैं पलटा उसके तरफ towards Keith and मेरे left पे was Neem. वो भी पलट के देख रहा है कि क्या बोल रहा है ये? And we both are looking and aim at and right. I don't even know how to unmute these guys. But anyway, shout out to all the young dads and moms who are really grinding it. I know cannot be easy. But yeah, जीना इसी का नाम
Hmm.
है. So
Yeah, but
on that,
I want to reiterate before we change topics that
Hmm,
if there is a father, like a new father of a 0 to 7 year olds, 8 year old out there who's
yeah,
having a hard time, I want them to know that I don't think there has been a single father in the history of the humankind that has not had like a difficult parenthood story and just feels like their entire lives of schooling, college, education, MBA, post graduation, whatever you call it, has not prepared them
yeah,
for this journey called parenthood, fatherhood. Like mothers still have this motherly instinct. They have this sixth sense of whatever going on. Fathers have no clue what's going on. Like they're just a sidekick in this entire journey. So if you're feeling that way, I think everybody feels that way, and it's totally normal.
it's a mother's game. We are just playing a small part in it, to be honest. Right? We are there for the vibes. That's it. But let me before we sign off this particular topic, and let me put you in a hypothetical situation. Let's lighten things up. What if Earth is now 20 years old? Okay? I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving you he is in top universities. He's still studying in Bangalore, let's say, for the sake
Mm-hmm.
of the
Mm-hmm.
hypothetical situation.
First of
Right?
all, I'm stoked that he's in some top university, even
So,
hypothetically.
वरना पॉडकास्ट यही बंद हो जाता है बंद कर इफ इज नॉट इन अ हाई then what's in the point.
No, dude, actually, I'm quite the, on contraire, the way that we are raising Earth is almost like I don't want him to do, yeah, something that looks high profile. Like I don't want him to be an engineer or in medicine or a lawyer. In fact, if he comes and tells me, Dad, I want to like sit for like some engineering entrance test, I'm like, bro, you're by yourself. I got nothing to do with this. Please take care of your own expenses. But if he comes
Absolutely.
and tells me that I want to be an artist or I want to be a DJ or I want to travel the world, I want to be a photographer, I'll be like, take my money. So
Yeah,
that's what I hope is going to happen, and he's not going to go into some regular field that looks
that's
good on paper.
हमने कर लिया ना. We did that. What is the point of doing something that your dad did 40, 30, whatever years back?
Correct.
50. कुछ नया कर
Correct.
लो. AI का ज़माना है. There's so much. By the way, we should be talking about AI sometime soon, right?
Hmm.
Up to
Oh, I have
now.
stories about AI.
Yeah, I have stories, I have opinions, and
Yeah. Yeah.
we're
I,
we're
I
gonna
have
do
career I have career limiting opinions.
exactly. We're gonna plug in some nice brands into our AI discussion. Shout out to our friend Prasad and his company Humane Labs, Humane AI. See, I already screwed that up. But anyways, it's not for tonight, not for today. I think it take that topic next time. Sid, before we sign off, what are we gonna talk about next time? Just to let our listeners know.
So I want to talk about how this the whole West Asia war has led to all the Indians who ever wanted to travel westwards to reconsider their travel plans, and there is new destinations coming up, and all the new destinations are Japan. Is
Oh
this a phenomena you are familiar with?
no,
जापान
Japan.
में सब जापान में भाई लोग गरबा कर रहे हैं.
नहीं मेरे को एक ही स्टोरी मेरे को पता है. People
हाँ,
from Maharashtra or even from Nagpur would know. There's this dish called Saungji chicken, Saungji
right.
mutton.
Of course.
Okay. And a dish, but it's dish made by these uh, Saudi people, Saudi background from Maharashtra. So I saw some Japanese chef serving Saudi mutton in Japan, and he's Japanese.
उनके भी नाक के बाल जलते हैं क्या?
क्या भाई नाक की बिल्कुल वो दूसरे वाले भी बाल. अभी अपन 18 प्लस सेगमेंट में तो अगले बार बोल रही है बात. People got betrayed. Are you serious? That Japan here? Okay, we got to talk about Japan there next time.
All right. On that note, thank you for you guys really have to get a job or some work to keep you occupied because you've just spent 33 minutes listening to two folks talking about absolutely nothing. But thank you for sticking around. See you in the next episode.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a fab week. Cheers.